Hey, what's going on, guys? Dave and I are back with another video, and about 5 months ago, we made a review over OnePlus's latest flagship device, the OnePlus 5. 5 months later, we're making another review over another flagship phone, the OnePlus 5T. You really gotta love fast supply chains, man. Like, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. Okay, so this isn't gonna be like a full-blown review as much as it is just kind of talking about what the 5T does differently compared to the 5. So we're gonna highlight what it does similarly, and we're also gonna highlight what it does differently, and that's about all you guys will need to know, really. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's get the basic similarities out of the way right at the beginning of the video. Both the 5 and the 5T come in a 64GB variant with 6 gigs of RAM, or a 128GB variant with 8 gigs of RAM. Now, the 5T is only available in Midnight Black, whereas the 5 was available in a slate gray, I believe was the color. So if you're trying to get a 5T in any other color, you're temporarily out of luck. As far as pricing goes for the 5T, the 64GB model starts at $499, and the 128GB model starts at $559, so just 60 bucks more. Another similarity between the two devices, 3300 milliamp hour battery. So yeah, similarities are good. Let's get to the differences. So let's talk about the biggest difference you're gonna notice as soon as you power on the phone, and that's the display. So with the OnePlus 5, one of the biggest things you noticed, especially when you compared it to other flagship phones of 2017, was it didn't have that 18:9 aspect ratio. Well, the 5T fixes that. They bumped it up from a 5.5-inch display to a 6-inch display at an 18:9 aspect ratio, which means the phone has almost no bezels. I think the display to body ratio is like 80%, something ridiculous. So it looks really nice. It is a 1080p panel, optic AMOLED supplied by Samsung. So it's super sharp. Color accuracy and reproduction is incredible. Viewing angles are incredible as well. And there's no like color shift whenever you tilt it off axis. So for a 1080p panel, it's really good. I like it. Biggest difference number 2, because of the 18:9 aspect ratio, there's no room for hardware buttons anymore, and more importantly, there's no room for a home button anymore with a built-in fingerprint sensor. So the fingerprint sensor has now been moved to the back middle of the device, where if it's gonna be on the back of the device, that is the correct spot. Samsung, pay attention to this one, please. It's in the back middle. It is still ridiculously fast. It unlocks your phone in 0.2 seconds, and it's still just as reliable as it was on the front. So that is a good thing. And they also incorporated the whole swipe on the fingerprint sensor to bring down the navigation panel, which is also really cool. Now, the third biggest difference, and for those of you who are not okay with the fingerprint sensor being on the back, OnePlus has incorporated face unlock technology in the OnePlus 5T. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh my gosh, they're copying Apple. Not really. To be completely honest with you, the face unlock on the OnePlus 5T is not as secure as the iPhone 10. The iPhone 10 kind of has this thing where it creates a 3D mapping of your face. The OnePlus 5T just kind of gets a facial imprint using software, and it goes from there. It cannot be fooled by a picture. I have tried it, and it is super quick. It's scary quick. I mean, if you're looking at the phone head on, as soon as you hit the power button, you're at the home screen. You don't even see your lock screen or your notifications. If you kind of hold the phone away from you and then turn it to you, it's like at the snap of your fingers, it unlocks. So yeah, it's quicker than Apple's Face ID, but it's not nearly as secure simply because of the hardware involved with Face Unlock. Fourth biggest change, the camera system on the back. Now, it looks near identical to the OnePlus 5, but where it's different is OnePlus has swapped out the telephoto lens for another wide-angle lens that is used specifically for low light. So any portrait mode photos that you take on the OnePlus 5T, which they are possible, the bokeh effect will be generated using artificial intelligence software similar to the Google Pixel. Let's get back to that secondary sensor, by the way. The first one is a 16 megapixel wide angle, which takes really good photos. The second one is a 20 megapixel sensor. Now, they both have the same aperture, f1.7, but OnePlus says they use intelligent pixel technology, where they use groups of 4 pixels at a time to take in more light in low light situations and reduce noise that typically comes from low light photos, but groups of 4 megapixels at once, that doesn't, I don't compute that. If you guys get it, let me know in the comment section down below, but I'm not really following with that. But the OnePlus 5T does actually do pretty decent in low light situations. David and I actually took a couple low light photos we're gonna show you. As far as video recording goes, it can record in 1080p 60 frames, and 4K 30 frames. And it comes equipped with electronic image stabilization. So shaky videos are a thing of the past. So overall, the OnePlus 5T has a pretty good camera setup. Is it better than the iPhone 10 or the Pixel 2? No. In some situations, it just as good as the iPhone 10, if not a little better, depending on the lighting and the angle that you're taking your photo. There's no way this is better than the Pixel 2 though. Pixel 2 is smartphone king, but regardless, at the price point, you're getting a really good camera setup. And of course, on board the OnePlus 5T is Oxygen OS, which in my opinion is a customized version of Android that is as close to vanilla as possible. Although even today, it seems like the Pixel runs its own kind of heavily altered version of Android, but still close to vanilla. So it's the whole idea of what really is vanilla Android now is slowly starting to get blurred as Google is adding in their own features and expanding their own operating system with the Pixel. The OnePlus 5T comes with Android 7.1.1 Nougat, but it should be updated to Oreo from my understanding in early 2018. And hopefully OnePlus continues with the software support as more phones come out. Obviously, OnePlus is not one to take their time whenever it comes to releasing a new flagship device. I mean, we'll probably get one here in like 7 or 8 more months, and everyone will forget about the 5T, but hopefully those who invest and buy one get updated software for some time, because it's got the latest quality silicone. It's got some ridiculous performance. So Oxygen OS still really good, still really customizable, still buttery smooth, which is good to see. And I know some people might be worried that OnePlus used the same size battery on a phone that has a bigger display, which could lead to reduced battery life. In my testing period with the 5T, I was averaging at least 4.5 hours to typically over 5 hours of screen on time, so you don't have to be concerned. I know they use the 3300 milliamp hour battery, but battery life is still up there. You can for sure get through a day's worth of use. And the good thing is, dash charging is back, which is still the fastest charging method I have ever seen on a smartphone ever. So either way, if you have to top it off, or even if you have to, I don't know, put it on charge midway through the day, you're gonna get a ridiculous amount of power in a very short amount of time. And one other thing that completely unrelated to the battery, I really appreciate the fact that OnePlus ships every phone with a screen protector installed. I think that's one of the most like underrated things ever. You're paying like half the price of some of these other flagship phones, and you're getting a screen protector, and OnePlus even includes a free case inside the box with the 5T. Yeah, it's a crappy silicone case, but you know what? It's still a case at the end of the day, and you get a screen protector. So you're getting the phone, you're getting the fast charging through dash charging, and you're getting a case and a screen protector for half the cost of a flagship phone. And you're getting a headphone jack, which I cannot believe is a feature in 2017. But yes, OnePlus still put a headphone jack on the 5T, so you don't have to worry about a ridiculous USB Type-C dongle or a Lightning dongle or whatever other kind of dongle there is that exists. You still have a headphone jack. I just wanted to take some time in the video to just show some appreciation for that, because those are some really underrated things in my opinion. As far as if the phone is actually worth the price, yeah, it's worth the price. It's half the price of an iPhone 10. And it's almost like $300 or $400 cheaper than a Pixel 2 XL with 128 gigs of memory. Are you gonna get like the best of everything? No, you're not gonna get the best display, you're not gonna get the best camera, but you are getting the best internals, you're getting a really good display, and you're getting a really good camera. Now the one biggest thing, or two things really that I've heard a lot of people mention about the 5T, no wireless charging and no IP rating. If those aren't a big deal to you, then the OnePlus 5T is right up your alley. To be completely honest with you, I mean, unless you find yourself out in the rain every single day, you shouldn't be too concerned about an IP rating. And wireless charging, we've seen it on some Android devices and not on some other Android devices. And the iPhone just recently got wireless charging, so I'm not really going to knock OnePlus for no wireless charging. I do kind of wish they had an IP rating though. That's just my own opinion. But like I said, guys, really good phone, half the cost of a flagship phone. So get one, and the shipping time's not too bad right now. I think at the time of this video, it's like 8 days. Get yourself one. You're not going to be disappointed at all. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll catch you soon. Peace. There's no like shift in colors at all whenever you tilt it off axis. So display-wise, even though it's 1080p, it's a really good phone. Really good screen. Sorry.